Hello? Oh, okay. Works. Um, Vinay Sharma, I give a different kind of introduction because he was a very, very dear friend of my son, Avik. And they had been contemplating doing this play, which we are going to read out today, um, between the two of them. That didn't happen, but we are going to make it happen. At least the play is going to be read out. That's what, yeah? And Vinay, you might like to say a few words.
Hello, everybody. Firstly, my apologies for holding everybody up and being late. And also further apologies if my reading turns out to be a little breathless because the entire walk from there to here took the mickey out of me. I'm not used to this pace, although it was a good walk. Uh, uh, this reading is special for me not only because Avik was a dear friend, but because he was a writer. Why is a play that Avik wrote many years ago, a two-hander. I was intrigued by his depiction of Yudhishthir and agreed to direct the play if he agreed to co-act with me. And he'd never acted before, so that took some persuasion. He did agree, and a few rehearsals later, unfortunately, COVID came in the way, and we had to stop. Later, by the time we resumed, we did a few rehearsals, but then destiny had other plans. But writers, and this is something I felt while writing about this event on a Facebook post, that writers outlive their earth time. They can. So this is not so much about closure for me, as in we are actually going to be reading that play that I was rehearsing with him, but it is rather about continuance because of that one thing which I think is so true of writers. They outlive the time that they have on earth. Having said that, we'll begin the reading, sir. Please.
The name of the play is Why? Enigmatic, quite. We will not explain why this name, but by and by you'll get to know. We have these characters. Why? A man of indeterminate age, his dog, a traveler, man in his late 30s, a tea stall owner, and pilgrims. The time is now. The curtain is raised, soft orange light in the foreground, afternoon melting to dusk, almost like now. A tea stall with a thatched roof towards the left. The stage sloping towards at the right through a series of steps. A few pilgrims sit around, smoking, drinking tea. The stage slopes up a winded path along some props of trees. We have genuine trees with us. Yeah. Towards a painted screen in the background depicting the Himalayan mountain range. Y enters through the left, dressed in tatters, a shapeless cloak that may have once been a coat, now reduced to the texture and color of bark. His shoes are stubby, worn out, his face gaunt and ashen. He is accompanied by a dog of an indeterminable breed. Y draws up a small foldable chair from the shack into the open, seats himself and sips from a steaming cup. The dog settles by his side.
The tea stall owner approaching him. That will be 3 rupees.
Actually,
Well,
glances down as he suddenly realizes he's wearing neither a watch nor a ring. To be honest, I don't seem to have
no money, huh?
the money here.
What did you buy the tea for? All my bloody fault for serving a tramp like you. And don't tell me, you suddenly realized you have no cash on you? Come on, don't try that old gag with me, okay?
Oh,
So quit stalling and pay up.
honestly,
Honest, and you? Taken a look at the mirror lately? He starts to swear, and a couple of the pilgrims sitting in the shack stick out their necks, staring at Y, then starting to talk about him. Pay me in kind, then. I don't friggin' care. A chain, a ring, anything. He tugs at Y's scarf. Or this, maybe. This rag could make a mop.
the traveler enters through the right, a tall man in his 30s with a high receding forehead and rimless spectacles. He's wearing an overcoat.
Excuse me.
You speaking to me?
Yes. Well, you see, I couldn't help overhearing the conversation, or at least part of it, which offended my sense of common decency. He glares at the tea man, who stands back with a sullen expression. Would you permit me, sir? He takes out a note from his coat pocket, wishing to spare any more embarrassment, and quickly hands it to the tea stall owner, dismissing him with a gesture. Well, that takes care of him. He won't bother you anymore. He brings another chair from the stall, places it next to Y, taking care not to disturb the dog, which continues to lie nearby, motionless. Hey, chai! Get me one as well.
Thank you for your kindness. I don't know how I could repay you, though seeing that I don't have any money at all.
No problem at all. It's easy to see you're a gentleman who's, well, these days anyone can fall into hard times.
True.
Hope I'm not intruding on your privacy. I mean, if you don't wish to be disturbed.
On the contrary, you just bought me tea. I'm very grateful.
Your face seems familiar.
It's a common face.
Hardly. It's refined, distinguished. I'm almost tempted to say well known, except that I can't quite place it. It's a kind of face that presides at board meetings or parliamentary committees, or looks out under a vast bleeding sky at a defeated battlefield. And if you'll permit me for just a moment longer to continue my reading of your countenance, I would say that beneath the veneer of deliberate lack of care, the stubble, the sleep-shut eyes, the sallow skin, one can trace a certain former haughtiness.
No, there you're wrong. Haughty is one thing I've never been. The tea man comes back with a steaming cup, hands it to the traveler, and goes back into the shop, shooting a dour glance at Y.
The traveler sips his tea, closes his eyes appreciatively for a second. May one inquire your name?
A name is of no significance. It hardly shapes you as a person, I think. It's just the vanity and important aspirations of parents imposed on an infant. Don't you think so?
Yes, but still.
Oh, you can call me Y then.
Why? Oh, you mean why? Your initial. Why, as in yes.
Yes.
Mr. Y. Very enigmatic. He expects to be asked his name, waits for it, and is mildly disappointed when the question isn't put to him. I notice you didn't ask my name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to be rude. It's just that it doesn't become me.
What doesn't?
Curiosity. Long, uneasy pause. The traveler gets up, scraping back the chair. The dog starts up, looks at the man, and then slowly ducks his head back again, apparently dozing off. The traveler crosses across to the right, then back again, rubbing his hands to ward off the cold, then sits down heavily again beside wife.
That's a strange breed you've got there.
I'm, I'm sorry.
Your dog?
Oh, he's not my dog.
But he keeps following you around.
How do you know?
I've been here all morning. I've been observing you. Even from a distance, the eye picks you out like the recluse with his dog.
Sometimes I feel it is I who follows him around. I walk in a stupor, and he leads me on till the end like a
Mascot?
no, more like a father.
A father?
Yes,
How do you mean?
that's how I've come to see it. See, I follow him as a dutiful but tired son would his father.
You are tired, aren't you? Ah, yes. The weight of the whole world on your shoulders. Yes, I know that feeling.
The sins of the world,
Yes, perhaps that too.
that primarily.
Your face is so familiar. Do I know you from somewhere? Have we met perhaps? Or maybe I've seen you on TV. It's your smile that does it, you know. It brings back a flicker, an image flashing on a giant screen, but it's just a moment's flicker and then it's gone.
I'm a ghost then.
Same here. Joined the gang. A ghost. A has-been. A was.
Was?
Yes, a was. That's how you describe someone whose every particle of being is defined by what he once was.
So, what were you that you aren't anymore?
Long story, my friend. We'll get around to that in due course. Hey, know what? I have this little something in my pocket. We can take a few nips from it right now. What's here? He takes out a flask and pours drinks for both of them into the teacups. There you go. I'd forgotten about it completely. Comes in handy in weather like this. They drink, why, coughing a little self-consciously. Strong stuff, huh? Yep, this stuff takes on getting used to.
It's a bit too much for me. Excuse me. I'm not used to this anymore. Cups his hand over the rim as the traveler offers to pour him another. No, but thank you. I should have stuck to tea.
Well, I'm going to have another if that's all right with you. He fills his cup, takes a sip, and turns to gaze back at the snowy landscape in the background. In the mountains, there's just only one hazy, languid hour that really defines afternoon. And then suddenly, even before you realize it, the dark is upon you. Like a torrent, like a curse. Ergo, the need for fortification. In the background, the pilgrims at the tea stall pay up, rise to their feet, and shuffle out the stall, crossing the stage, exiting to the right, some carrying flowers, pots and earthen vessels, chanting. A few moments later, the tea man closes shop, exits in the same direction without so much as a glance at Y or the traveler. Oh, there they go, the faithful blind.
Yes, and I should be leaving soon too.
Not in the dark, surely. Where will you go?
There?
That's a good one. A scream. But surely it's dangerous, wild animals and everything, and if they don't kill you, the cold will. I've rented a room up here, a shanty really. But it's warm and we can heat up a stove, talk, open another bottle, and get comfortable. What do you say, huh? He's just downed his third cup and is starting to get merry.
No, I really must be leaving.
Oh, yes, I quite forgot. You're off booze. What? We can get you some tea or something, my friend.
No, I had meant to start out again in the evening. I have had my rest and my refreshments, thanks to you. And now it is time for me to leave.
The road ahead's pure perdition. Nothing but litter and dung. One little sip, one little slip, and you fall. Face flat in the shit. Morning's better. March at first light. Besides, this cold,
It doesn't bother me so much.
I'm telling you, friend, this cold, it fucking freezes your balls.
Anyway, thanks once again for your hospitality.
Stay a while, sit here, talk. Think of it as a favor. Here, one has nothing to do but talk or sit and brood. Or think of how everything's been washed away like silt. He folds his arms on his knees, buries his head, and falls silent. Soon there is sobbing.
Are you unwell?
Grievously.
What is it?
Only an affliction of the soul. Hang around, friend. We can make an evening of it yet, yeah? We'll never meet again. But this evening, we can get to know each other. You can ask me anything about my life, really. Anything, man. Analyze me. Annihilate me. Tear me apart.
Now, why would I want to do that?
Oh, dear Mr. Y. He won't give out his name. Your boss, the bottle. He isn't curious either. Oh, then why must Mr. Y never cry?
Some men are made that way, I guess.
And what about the questions that have piled up inside my head? What if I wish to know all your deep, dark secrets?
I have none.
Can't fool me with that one, my friend. Everyone has stuff he won't admit even to himself, especially to himself. Now, remember, Mr. Y, no secrets between drunks and friends. He pours another drink.
Oh, that's true. Okay. What did you want to ask me?
Oh, there are so many questions in my mind. You're such a mysterious character, like someone straight out of a Greek fable.
Come on. What's your first question?
Are you a family man?
I was.
Was! Ah, there it is again, that magic word. I knew it. What happened?
They died.
Your wife? And children? All of them? But tell me this. Were they true to you till the end?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? It's simple, man. It's simple. Did your wife love you, or was she a whore?
You could say she was true to me in her own way.
No reason then for you to be glum, chum. But picture this. You come home from halfway across the world, let yourself into the house, and it's dark and empty. Empty. Read me? She's gone. And now I'm not even allowed to see my own daughter.
I'm truly sorry.
And the whole house just lying there vacant, waiting for me like a trap. The bedroom still reeking of her odor, her warm sweat mingled with perfume, the wardrobe empty, all the drawers cleaned out.
When was this?
Nothing in the whole house but the funky, stifling smell of her.
I'm truly.
Truly what? Can you even begin to imagine what I've been through? Tell me this. How can a father be a fucking threat to his own 5-year-old daughter? Huh? I mean, what dope of a senile judge would ever believe that? Now look at me. See what I've become? What do you see when you look at me, huh? Answer me.
A man in pain.
I don't know what came over me. Really, I've been most rude. Do forgive me.
You have nothing to apologize for.
Of course I do. And I do apologize, that is. I'm so sorry. You were saying something. And I just cut you off. Please continue.
No, I wasn't saying anything. Anyway, it couldn't have been anything important.
I was a banker once. Did I tell you?
No.
An investment banker, to be precise. Shall I tell you about that side of my story? The varnish and gleam bit.
If you wish.
I was amongst the cream of my generation. And by that I don't mean one of those starving idealists or poets. No, sirree. This was a new generation of pundits, armed with confidence, sophisticated tools. The mantra was, we'll ride the success wave of the economy. We'll make it big. And make it big we did. It sounds like boasting now, but I did make the cut. Almost the news. In fact, company villa, 1 crore rupees salary, the works. I had it all, you see. Success, money, a glamorous ex-model of a wife, 13 years my junior, and of course, an angelic daughter. And then, something snapped. Just like that. Bang, right in the middle of all this glitz, this chandelier-lit, champagne-sparkling, money-making glory. You know what I mean?
Was that when your wife left you?
No. That came a bit later. But still, it makes you wonder. What does it all mean in the end? There was this time you meet this woman on the plane, you talk, find out she's available and think, what the hell? Hours later, you're in a hotel room. So it's 2 a.m. or thereabouts, and after a hasty, badly improvised attempt at coitus, she slumped at the edge of the bed, bawling out through her tears about her screwed up life, and her ex-husband bulging out from the nightgown, suddenly no longer so seductive. You sit in a lamplit armchair, smoking one of her cigarettes, trying to salvage some vestige of dignity from the forgettable proceedings of the night. And now I'm just another tramp, like you, stuck in the middle of nowhere, getting drunk on cheap local booze. Seriously, what does it all mean?
I don't know.
Exactly. My thoughts, exactly.
So what will you do now?
Stay here. Pray. And when that fails, study, observe, write my way back into life.
Philosophy?
Hardly. No, I'm not that intelligent. A travelogue, most likely, or a novel. But in any case, to return to you, because you were saying something very important. Yes, about your wife. She died.
Yes.
When did this happen?
Yesterday,
Really?
or perhaps the day before.
Don't you remember your own wife?
I have not had any use for time for a while now. Time, or people, or money. What month are we in?
The one, the one where the shadows of the leaves begin to drop their jaws long.
What day?
The third. How did it happen?
What?
How did she die?
We were on our way up here, and while on the road, she collapsed and lay very still. Not a cry, not a complaint, just complete stillness. That was it.
Heart failure?
Could be. Who can tell? Could be exhaustion or just the sheer pressure of it all.
Pressure?
Yes. The weight of the world on her shoulders. The sins of the world.
Tell me about her. What was she like? Was she like fire? Was she homely?
Homely? Yes, you could say that, depending on what one imagines is evoked by that word. As a new bride, she was dark, moist, supple blue, like the earth after the first spell of rain, like a river just after sunset. And her voice floated through the trees like bird song.
What a romance.
But that was in the beginning. Then things changed, and she lost her faith in me. Not that I cheated on her or anything like that. In any case, my brothers,
Yes?
I think she may have preferred them over me.
Your wife slept with your brothers?
Well, she was living with all of us, so by that logic, each of us had the right to warm her bed, isn't it? I know it's complicated. Anyway, later things became worse.
For whom?
Between us,
What happened?
you know what? They took away our land, our property, our rights, laid their grimy hands on her, even tried to rape her.
Some men tried to gang rape your wife? Did I hear that right?
And of course, she held me responsible for all this, perhaps justifiably. Because I just stood there while all this happened, impotent, not swayed by rage, but only bound by nothing but my principles.
I don't understand. Who tried to rape your wife?
My own blood.
What? Your own brothers?
No, not them. The others.
I'm not sure I follow any of this. Your enemies, who were these people again?
After that, everything changed, and we're never the same again. But how can one even begin to explain it? Imagine that the river dried up, the painted sunset withered and brittled away, blackening. Then the war came, and the rivers became oceans of blood.
You were in the army?
My friend, one does not need to be a soldier to witness a battle, or an entire war for that matter.
Which war was this?
All wars are the same, but this one was ancient.
To return to the subject of your wife,
When her son was killed in battle, she was transformed. A being so fiery, no one could look her in the eye even. She became a frenzied oracle, frothing at the mouth. She became Kali, crying for blood to drink, to bathe in, to wash her hair in. She prayed for the day when she would pleat her hair in ropes of blood. No man can dare touch such a woman, let alone make love to her. But yesterday, she looked different.
yesterday,
Or the day before, when she died, as she lay motionless on the grass, I bent down to kiss her brow one last time. Kiss her again after so long. And for a moment in that stillness, in death, her beauty became vulnerably human again. In the single faint crease across her forehead, the tight line of the lips, firm and closed, the fragrance of dew in her hair. And I realized that I had never ceased to love her. And I wept.
I'm sorry. So, where was she cremated? Did you find people to help you with the funeral rites?
No. She lay where she had died. The sky drooped and covered her. And I walked on.
What? No proper funeral?
The rites of departure arrange for themselves. A person dies and is made one with his or her maker. What else is there in it? You tell me. It was the same with my brothers when they had died.
You left them as well?
No. Indeed, it was they who left me.
Now you've lost me completely.
Sorry. Didn't mean to confuse you. I was just lost for a moment in my own recollections. Perhaps I should tell this part of the story anew.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
The last battle over, we, the victors, gazed upon a vast battlefield strewn with corpses of the dead. That was a sight that struck us to the core. Even now, whenever I close my eyes, I can hear all that. The death throes, the cries of the mutilated, the endless flock of vultures circling low, swooping down, their ugly wings flapping.
You still have these nightmares?
Even now, every step I take seems to rouse up some dead soldier, his bones crunching underfoot. A hideous, putrefying, writhing form insinuating itself under my foot. So then, I suggested that we go on a pilgrimage. First westwards, to the desert, then east, onwards to the south, till we reached the sea. And now here, on to our final destination. And the others were all with me until we reached the foot of the mountains. But here they started to drop away, shed their lives like leaves in a gust of wind. First my wife, as I told you earlier, and then the others. One by one, each meeting is ignominious death.
And so now you're the only one left?
Yes,
And your dog.
he's not my dog.
Imagine that. A whole clan wiped out like that. You're not carrying some epidemic virus, are you?
No, 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 not at all.
What then?
As I told you earlier, the burden, the sins of the world. I shall have to take your leave now. Thank you once again for everything. He smiles graciously and rises to his feet, and the dog, responding to a signal invisible to the audience, gets up. Wise starts to proceed towards the back of the stage.
There. That smile again. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere. Oh, one last question, please. I must know the answer to this.
What is it?
Who are you, really?
A tramp like you? I was.
What were you before this?
A king.
He turns back to the audience and starts to walk up the steps in the direction of the mountains, the dog leading the way.
Fade out to black. The curtain falls. Short ones, none of them lasting more than half an hour to 45 minutes, and they are meant to be staged. Unfortunately, to stage a thing, one has to memorize all the lines and one has to develop a backdrop and all that. That takes money, time, energy, and my memory, at least, I don't know about him. He still remembers everything.
I'm getting there.
But I am getting senile and I can't remember all the lines now. So that's why the reading dramatized. But if you had taken a look at the book, you would have found that they are refreshingly different in their subject matter. All of them are different, except perhaps one, the visit, which is what you can say is day-to-day life, a kind of family relationship problem and all that. But the others are all absolutely different from each other and very simple, very refreshingly different. All right. Please, we would love to take questions, field questions from you. Yes, please. No, no, no. There's a lady just behind you.
I wanted to know, is the book on sale at the bookshop?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just walk past a little bit and you will
yes.
find the bookstore there.
Yes, I know where it is.
All right, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I didn't want to ask something. I wanted to say something about the dialogue pattern of it. Like how amazingly the dialogue just goes from one section to the other, like in real life. When we are having a conversation with strangers, we don't just always follow one thought pattern. It just fluctuates, and then it seamlessly comes back to the main point of it. So it's an observation, not a question, and it's a great learning.
Thank you, thank you.
It's
a
great
very good
learning.
observation.
Yeah, I just love the flow, the pattern, and then here, because I've read the play, and now I'm hearing it out loud. It's brilliant. The dialogue is just brilliant. The flow of it
Would you like
is
to say
brilliant.
something?
I think this is particularly striking about Avik's work, and I think it probably also goes back to the fact that he began with poetry. So I think that makes a difference. And secondly, if you look at how he had, addressed himself on online, social media, vagara vagara, he called himself a global soul. I think it couldn't be truer than that, because even this, although it is located in a mythology that we are all, or perhaps reality that we are all familiar with, but it draws from so many other strands, and it is really a global work. It doesn't belong only to its origin.
Yes.
So yes, that's probably one strong reason for what you've observed.
Yeah, you can connect.
I have a kind request. On behalf of Kolkata India, Kolkata Literary Meet, can you, on behalf of all of us, give a hug to Porunda? And for all of us here, can we have a standing ovation for the moment and the global soul who ensured and who ensures to live beyond time? The legacy continues. Thank you very much. Thank you, both of you.